Shalom, family. Shalom. This is Grammy Yah. You guys, I'm coming because I'm getting ready to can some hamburgers. These hamburgers are the best. You hear me? These are some of the best hamburgers that you're going to get from a jar. And also, what I also do with these hamburgers, I even make some patties out and just throw it in the freezer. And when time for a cookout, whatever, I just take the hamburgers out of the freezer, throw it on the grill, and you don't need anything else. All right. So today we are making Montreal steak hamburgers. Okay. This seasoning right here, this right here takes your hamburgers to another level. I'm telling you. I also did Salisbury steaks with the Montreal steak marinade too. But the hamburgers, you can use them as Salisbury steak, however. But this is my new improved and much easier recipe for hamburgers or Salisbury steaks, okay? So today, right here, I have about 6 pounds of ground beef, okay? Per every 2 pounds, 1 package. So I will be using 3 packages today because I have like 6 pounds, all right? And I will be using store-bought beef broth. But if you have the better than bouillon, go ahead and use your kind of beef broth that you like. But today I'm using the beef broth from the store. And it doesn't matter what brand it is. Beef broth is beef broth, okay? And I'm making it so simple, very simple. And let me tell you what else I'm using. I will be putting onions in these patties. Yes, I will. And green peppers. Yes, onions and green peppers are going into my burgers. Yes, they are. This is optional. If you don't like onions or green peppers or whatever, you don't have to use them. But I'm just letting you know that you can use onions and bell peppers in your hamburgers and they will not fall apart. Okay? So I'm just letting you know. So that's a myth. I tried it and I did it and it's true. My patties still stayed together. Okay? So, and this is a half a cup, but you can add more or less. All right? We will need a funnel and we will need our vinegar to wipe off our rims, the bubbler, our jar lifter, a bowl to put our ground beef in, and a couple of pans to lay our patties out in the pan. And so you go ahead and heat your oven to 400 degrees, okay? Once I get these patties laid out, I will put them in the oven on 400 for 15 minutes. We'll get to that, all right? So now let me just open up my ground beef. And we don't need any more seasonings. Every seasoning that we need is in this packet, okay? So I'm gonna open up this ground beef and I'm gonna get it all incorporated and I'll bring you back. All right, I have my ground beef all in here and I stirred it up so you can see my onions and my green peppers. They are in there. All right, so now I will open up the Montreal steak marinade packages, you guys. And I don't have to tell grown folks, you know, you got to wash your hands. But hey, if you don't, that's your business. All right? Because you got to get down and dirty with this ground beef. So just want to let you know that Granny did wash her hands. Because I know I have some people wondering sometimes. But it's all good. Grammy, wash your hands, y'all. So I got two packages in here, and this marinade, it already smells so good. You guys wait until you try it. It smells so good. This is going to give you the best hamburgers. I almost need a bigger bowl. That's what I need, a bigger bowl. But I'm going to go ahead and work it. Okay? And just keep folding it over and squeezing it so the seasonings can get all up in there. Okay? All right. I'm going to open up my last packet. Y'all love Grammy, right? And y'all trust Grammy. Trust me on this, you guys. Trust me. Because I did have a cookout. And a couple of people called back and said, Grammy, who made those hamburgers? And I said, I did. What did you use? I said, the Montreal steak seasoning. Can you send it to me? I'm like, yeah, I can send it to you. So here we are. Now you can see the video. These are going to be some delicious burgers. All right. I think I have it all incorporated in. Woo. You see me sweating? I think I'm sweating, y'all. Okay, here we go. So today we will be using the wide mouth jars. I am using the pint size wide mouth jar so my patty can be able to get in there, okay? If you use a regular mouth, you're gonna have teeny weeny patties going in there. But I also may make some meatballs too, because this is a lot of ground beef. So here we go. And so you want to make your patties not too big because they have to fit in this jar, okay? So let me get my pan ready. My oven is on 400. I'm gonna make out these patties. And about the palm of your hand. And let me tell you a little secret. What you do is once you get your patty all flattened, go in the center and press down the center. For the simple fact that if you don't press that center down, when your hamburger cook, it will cook with a hump. So it will have a little hump and you won't be able to get as many in the jar because those humps will take up too much room. So just pat in the middle, just like that. You see, just a little indentation in the middle. Yeah. So I'm gonna do another one, just probably about the size of your palm, because with ground beef, you know, ground beef, it's gonna shrink. But we don't want them too big where we can't get them in the jar as well. So I have little hands and I'm gonna stick with this size right here. I have my green peppers and my onions in there and they will stay intact. Okay, I'm gonna finish patting out some patties and I'm gonna put them in the oven, and when they get finished after 15 minutes, I'll bring you back so you can see what the next step is. Family, I thought I'll bring you back because I want you to see the onion and the green peppers. Okay, you see that? The onion and the green peppers. So what you're going to do is, if you patting out your patty and you notice that your onion is hanging off on the outside, so you won't lose that onion, just put it in the middle. Even the green pepper, just put it in the middle so you won't lose your green pepper or your onion in the jar. We want to keep it in the patty. So if it's hanging off a little bit, just put it in the middle. That's it. Voila. Getting ready to go in the oven for 15 minutes on 400 degrees, and I'll bring you back. All right, family, this is my last batch. I made some meatballs as well. And all this fat, let me tell you something about this fat. This fat, I'm pouring some of this fat in this jar. This fat has the best seasonings, you guys. So, this is totally optional. Save your fat. I just added like a half a cup of fat into my pot of broth. I didn't heat it up or anything. This broth is still room temperature. I just opened up the container. It's a 32-ounce container per half a cup of the fat. This fat is highly seasoned, you guys. Let me tell you something. Adding like a half a cup of this fat into the broth, the taste, the flavor is going to make your hamburgers taste so good. And remember, we are going to have to fill the jar up to a 1-inch head space. You can take the hamburgers out once they've been processed and everything. And when it's time to serve dinner to your family and you take the hamburgers out, so now you're going to be left with a jar full of goodness. That broth and that fat, that will make the best gravy. Mashed potatoes and gravy and these hamburgers or Salisbury steak, whatever you want to call it. Don't sleep on that fat, y'all. Fat make things taste good. All right, so I'm going to let these cool off so I can be able to handle. But now everything is like room temperature. Once these hamburgers and these meatballs get room temperature, I'll bring you back. Here we go, you guys. Everything is room temperature. Now I'm going to start putting my hamburgers in the jar. But let me show you. I forgot to push down the middle. And I'm going to show you the difference. This one I pushed down the middle. And this one I didn't. So you can see that nice little hump. I mean, it's not really going to make too much difference. It's just going to be like kind of rocky. But it's all going to taste the same. All right. So here we go. So I'm just going to start. And you see the size? Remember, it was like way bigger than the palm. Now it's like palm size. And it's shrunk down. And I'm just going to load them up in my jar. And they stayed together. So it looked like you can really only get like 4 in a jar. I'll do another one. These are doing pretty good. This is laying pretty flat. Yeah. This is laying pretty flat. I might can get another one in here. I can. I was able to get 5 in there. All depends on how flat you get them, okay? I might rearrange this one. Let's do another one. 2, 3. You see how I'm pushing them in down there? They are staying together. Even with the green peppers and the onions, they are staying together. And remember, we want to keep it at a 1-inch headspace. See, I was able to get 5 in there. So I'm going to go back and redo this one. So I'm able to get 5 in it because it's flat. Once you have those humps in the middle of your patty, it'll make it kind of difficult, okay? So now I am going to show you guys the meatballs. I even made meatballs and they stayed together. So I'm gonna count them. I don't know how many exactly I'm gonna be able to get in this jar. But also, if you're doing meatballs, you can do your meatballs in like a regular mouth jar. If you like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I was able to get 16 meatballs in a jar. And it all depends on what size your meatballs. My meatballs are kind of small. So if you like meatballs kind of big, you know you won't be able to get 16 in there, right? So, okay, so let me move these out of the way so I can show you the next step. I'm taking my broth and I add a little fat. Like I said, adding the fat is totally optional, you guys. But I like a little fat because a lot of the seasonings was in that fat. Okay, so you want to take your funnel and you want to take your broth and bring it up to a 1-inch headspace, okay? 1-inch headspace. One-inch headspace. Alrighty. And everything is like room temperature, you guys. And so what I'm gonna do is, I got a little bit more. To keep from breaking up your patties, we're going to go on the outside because we have to debubble, but we are going on the outside of the burger, okay? Stay on the outside. We don't want to go down the middle because then we're going to break our burger. So just be careful. Alrighty? And we want our broth to be at a 1-inch headspace. I'm going to do this one. I have a little bit too much in this one. I have my finger on top of my patty just so I can keep my patty still. Yeah, so that has a little bit of too much broth in it. And I'm just going to just spoon it out to the 1-inch headspace. That is it. Okay. Push down your patty if it's sticking up a little bit. And these are my meatballs. 1-inch headspace with the meatballs as well, family. And that is it. I might have to take one of these. Oh, no, it went down. I thought I had to take one of the meatballs out, but it went down. So as you debubbling, they will rearrange themselves. So that's a good thing. All right, so now we are working with grease, you guys. Hamburger is greasy. So now we're going to take our vinegar and we're going to wipe around our rims like really, really good because we want our jars to seal. And so we're just going to wipe around it real good because we want these jars to seal. And as you're wiping, just check to make sure that there aren't any cracks or nicks on top of your jar rims, okay? And this is basically, this is it. I'm gonna use a new paper towel for this last one. This burger is up a little high, so what we want to do, we just want to push down that burger just a tad without breaking it. Go back to our vinegar, and we want to get these rims like squeaky clean because we want them to seal. We don't want to do all this work and then it doesn't seal. I'm not trying to eat all these hamburgers. Okay? So here we go. Yes. We're going to take our lid and our rim, put it on, fingertip tight. There we go. Another one, lid, rim, or ring. I think I said rim the last time. Lid and ring, fingertip tight, you guys. Last one, lid, ring, fingertip tight. And that's it. So these are ready for the canner. And believe it or not, they're not hot. They feel like they are room temperature. So about time I get finished loading up the rest of my burgers into my jars, everything will be room temperature, you guys. And I'll bring you back at the canner. All right, family, I have my jars all filled and ready to go in this canner. But before I put these jars in this canner, I just have to say something, okay? First of all, your own kinfolk, you got to watch them, because I ran into one of them in the store and they want to know, why you storing up all that food? Basically, I said you need to be storing up too, because can't you see what's going on out here in the world? And the prices are crazy. And what's going to happen when you can't afford food? This way, you already have it stored up. And so when your stomach starts touching your back, and there's will, because they're not storing up, I'm going to have something to fall back on, okay? And not only am I going to have something to fall back on, I got the man upstairs, our Father. I'm going to fall back on him, because he's the one that's telling us to store up, stock up. We are in a famine, about to be in a famine, just like in the Bible with Joseph, okay? So, like Ecclesiastes say, there's nothing new under the sun. All right, so if you haven't been baptized, y'all go get baptized and repent daily, because we don't want to be found unworthy if he decides to come right now. So at least we are repenting and we're getting our sins behind us. All right, so here we go. Here we go again. I'm sorry, you guys. I just had to go there. You know, your own family, they just try to target you and they think I'm crazy, but we're gonna see who crazy at the end, okay? So anyway, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 jars in here, you guys. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna put my divider. It's no need to like just cram all this in. So I'm just gonna lay this little divider down, and then I'm going to just add 6, what's that, 7, 8, and I have an 8-ounce jar to put the remaining of the meatballs in. And you guys already know that I got 16-ounce jars, right? Now I have an 8-ounce jar. Guess what? You already know it's going to have to go for the ride, the process time, as I'm processing the pint-sized jars. And the processing time is going to be 75 minutes. So a little shorty right here is going to go for the ride for 75 minutes, whether he want to or not. All right. So let me get my top. Where is my top? Where is my top? Where my top at? Oh, sorry, you guys. Still in the cabinet. I forgot to bring it out. Okay, you guys, this is the most important part of your canner right here, okay? You want to make sure, you see this vent pipe right here? I am working with a Presto 23 quart canner, you guys, and we have this vent pipe. And you want to make sure you're able to see straight through this vent pipe, okay? And we want to make sure that the gauge is tight. We want to make sure our rubber gasket is up in there snug, you guys. Yes, and this is very important. See this little button right here? This little button goes up and down, up and down. We want to hold that, and we want to make sure that we cannot turn this. And if you can turn it, tighten it, because if it's not tight, your jars will not come up to pressure. Been there, done that, okay? So now I will put my lid on. Vinegar. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of vinegar, you guys, because I have hard water. If you have hard water, you want to add some vinegar to your water. It keeps your jars from coming out cloudy, okay? And that's an extra step. If you have hard water, they will come out cloudy if you don't put the vinegar in there, and then you have to scrub them. All right, so now, I have my top on it, you guys. And I'm going to make sure that my canner is in the middle of my eye. My burgers are room temperature, but just to be on the safe side, I will not turn this on high. I am going to go medium high. My water is room temperature. So I'm just going to go medium high because we don't want our jars to break, just in case inside my burgers may be a little warm. So I'm just going to start out with medium high, and you can do that. Most of the times I start out on high, but since I've been cooking and this was in the oven, I'm going to start out with the medium high heat. Okay, so here we go. All right, this has to come up to pressure, you guys. See this vent pipe right here? Once this vent pipe starts to shoot steam steady for 10 minutes, it has to shoot steam steady, you guys, for 10 minutes. You will put your weight regulator on it, but I'm going to bring you back after it starts to shoot steam steady for 10 minutes. All right, fam, this vent pipe has been shooting steam steady for 10 minutes. The button has popped up to let me know my canner is locked. Shooting steam for 10 minutes. Put my weight regulator on it. Now I have to let my canner come up to 10 pounds of pressure for my elevation. If you do not know your elevation, just Google it. All right, fam, I am at 10 pounds per pressure. It's okay if your canner goes between 10 and 11. That's perfectly fine. I will now set my timer for 75 minutes because I am working with meat and I have pint-sized jars, you guys. So I will let this process for 75 minutes. After 75 minutes, I will turn my canner off. Once that button right there drops, it will let me know that my canner is safe to open, but I will not run to open my canner right away. I will at least wait for about 10 to 15 minutes before I open my canner. All right, family, my button has dropped. Take off my weight regulator, and I cannot tell you how long this button been down. I fell asleep. So anyway, since we don't know, we have to always take precaution, okay? I will open this canner up, lift up the lid, and put the lid back down just to let some of the steam out because there is a lot of steam still in here. Okay. Oh my word, you guys. Oh, them hamburgers smell so good. So this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this lid off and I'm going to take it to the sink away from me. Ooh, yes, you guys. It smells so good. Let me get my little pot holder. And let's see what we have here. These are the meatballs. Look at that. Don't they look delicious? Did y'all hear that? Something is sealing. Here's my burger. Please hit like, share, and subscribe. Okay, family? That one just sealed. Yes. So look in the description box and there's going to be a video in there where I actually opened up a jar and I ate hamburger meat with the onions and the green peppers. Okay, so check it out. I love you guys. I do this for you like I always say. But guess what? I love the Most High more. Shalom.